Steve, first of all, then the personnel news, the missing guys from last weekend, Brendan Leonard and Josh Matavesi.
Yeah, Josh is pulling up a little bit better this week. We're waiting on Brendan. He's kind of a bit of a shoulder injury as well, and his wife still hasn't given birth yet. So yeah, we're just going to play that and see how it goes closer to Boxing Day.
Curry's recommended, I hear.
So yeah, that's up to someone else. It's nothing to do with me. Yeah.
What about other injuries, bumps and bruises? Anything to report? Or back?
No, the boys pulled up pretty well from the weekend. It was touch wood. It was yes, reasonable, clean bill of health. Nicky Smith has come back into training this week as well, so that's added a little bit more to our squad. So yeah, we've just got a couple of choices to make ready for Boxing Day.
What about the assessment of the performance out in Bordeaux, the state of your game?
Yeah, I thought there was lots of good. I thought the way we attacked the game, I thought was pretty positive once again. But ultimately there was a disappointed change room after it, and I think that's a sign of where the group are at going to France and Bordeaux. A really good team, and the fact that they beat Stade Francais a couple of weekends ago, they're pretty quality, a lot of quality players in the squad, and for us to go there and be sitting in the change rooms frustrated and disappointed with ourselves, I think says a lot about the group, and where ultimately we've got to take some learnings from last weekend and how to potentially sort of the last 3.5 minutes, how we could have maybe put a bit more pressure on Bordeaux and also not conceding 2 tries from the opposition try line. That's probably disappointing, and that's what comes back to hurt you in around those European games. And we know if we go down the Scarlets and make those kind of mistakes, we probably won't come away with what we want.
Before we discuss the Scarlets, how do you assess the state of your European group after Clermont smashed Exeter?
Yeah, I think it's wide open. I think that's what we're pretty proud of, in the fact of we put ourselves in a good position going with 2 games to go. And ultimately it isn't a win, but we've picked up 4 points on our travels in France, which is something really positive, and I think it shows what a good job we did do in Clermont with the performance they put in against Exeter. And then going to Bordeaux, you see the sort of squad and the players that they put out, the crowd they had, which was unbelievable. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, it's good learnings for our boys, and at the end of it, I know they've got a game in hand, but sitting at the top after 4 games is pretty outstanding for the group. And with all the injuries and the sort of slow start to the season we had, I think that the group deserve a massive amount of credit for how they do conduct themselves and what sort of character they have got. And even though there's frustration, disappointment in some of the performance from last weekend, I think the character of the group showed to come in at half time 25-7 down, come back into the game, and probably feel we've let the game slip, and we still had moments to win that game.
Do you still need to win both remaining European games to go through, do you think, or might you sneak through with 1 win and a couple of bonus points?
Yeah, I think to be sure you probably need to win both, and I think at the end of the day the Clermont game is set up. It's going to be a huge affair. Like you see the squad they've got, the sort of quality, the performances they put in, and obviously put in that sort of performance against Exeter was really positive for them, and I think they knew obviously after losing to Exeter they needed to put that in, but they go to Bordeaux next, so that's going to be interesting, and hopefully there'll be a lot riding on the Clermont game when they come home, and hopefully like it's something that our supporters can get right behind and get the crowd to match the occasion. That will be coming pretty soon in January.
Right, down to local rivalries and the Pro12. The Scarlets 14 points ahead of you in the table. Is it one that you have to win to have a chance of finishing ahead of them and being the top Welsh region, do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's have to win. There's still a lot of games left in the season. It's something we definitely want to win, and it would go a long way to closing that gap on them. But it's something about that we've got 3 games now in the Rabo. We need to put positive performances, and Scarlets have had a real good start to their season. But it's something we've got a bit of momentum in the way we are doing things at the minute, and there's a confident group. But ultimately we know Scarlets got a good home record, the defence is pretty solid, and we know it's going to be a tough affair, and these derbies are always close, but it's something that we're really excited about going down to the Scarlets on Boxing Day.
You talk about your momentum. How much damage do you think might have been done to the Scarlets by their 2 defeats against Glasgow?
Yeah, I don't think it'll do them. I don't think they'll be hung up on it. I think it's given them opportunities. I think they've rested a couple of boys so they can freshen up, and I don't know there's been a fair bit of talking around us going down there already, and it's something that, yeah, they'll be, I don't think it'll have too much an effect on them. Obviously the Glasgow away game, I think they rested a few boys to give them a break, and then at home they dogged it out and probably a little bit unlucky not to get the result. But yeah, their home form is always pretty good, and they've had some good results over there from the start of the season, so I don't think it'll have too much part to play.
What about the weather? Might not be glorious sunshine the weekend.
Yeah, it'll be no different. It'll be no different to what it is. No, I think it's something that, yeah, the conditions, it's always difficult, and derbies are difficult, but it's in particular the weather. It would be nice if it could be dry and it could be a little bit more of an open game, but it's something that the weather's the weather. We've got to perform, and we've got a plan to go down there and how we think we can get the victory.
Yeah, do you plan particularly in weeks like this for a bit of an aerial battle and Dan Bigger to kick the leather off it?
Yeah, maybe. No, I think it's just how we want to play, and like we know, Scarlets are a fast defensive team, but it's making sure, like, we've played a lot of positive rugby as well, and that, like, if we provide ourselves opportunities and we play with the speed that we have done over the last couple of weeks, then hopefully we can create some opportunities. But I think it'll probably, with the weather and things, will have to be a little bit more balanced than it has been over the last couple of weeks.
There is a bit of responsibility though on the Pro12 teams, isn't there, to put on a bit of a show in whatever sort of game at this time of year, because it's when you get the casual supporters in and you have to try and convince them to come back.
Yeah, I think, well, weather does dictate a fair bit of that. You can't be throwing the ball around in it's greasy conditions and things, but I think if there's any casual supporters that come to watch that game, it won't lack in intensity and physicality, and there's different elements to rugby, and like our game in Bordeaux, 33-27, that was really pleasing in the eye, and it's a huge physical effort, but I'm sure there'll be some physicality and sort of intensity into the game, and I'm sure it'll be a spectacle either way.
Are you getting to the time of year yet when players start thinking about the Wales selection in the back of their minds and getting one over on their opponents, not just for the team but for their own personal chances as well? No,
I don't think so. I don't think that will affect our group at all. I think our group are firmly focused on represent the Ospreys the best they can, and I think that goes from top down. You look at Alan Wynne and those boys, they're always focused on performance, and there's been some pretty outstanding performances over the last 5, 6 or even 7 weeks from us, so we're pretty pleased, and there's definitely no talk of Wales at the minute. There's just talk of Ospreys putting performances in.
Speaking of Alan Wynne, how optimistic are you that he'll be with you this time next year?
Look, same answer as it has been for the last 3 or 4 weeks. It gets a little bit tiring, but no, as soon as we know anything, we'll let you guys know.
And Rhys Webb, any progress there?
Same answer you're going to have
Scarlets,
as last time.
Scarlets have been putting out a lot of contract announcements. Are you hopeful that you'll get one or two solved in the next few weeks?
Yep, we are hopeful.
Thank you, Steve.
No problem. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Yeah.
I'm glad that's not me.
My God, every time, every week. I know.
The week we don't ask you is the week when the...
He'll leave him know, he'll phone him. Don't worry about it, he'll let him know, I promise him. Just don't ask me again, please.
Yesterday I didn't ask about Gareth Davis, and that came back to bite me. So.
Oh, well, yeah, but he'll help you out. He'll help you out. He's promised you, I think. He's promised you, and he'll repeat to him. Huh?
You only do 1 week, it's 3 anyway.
Yeah, exactly, I get a rest, but then I still had the same question 3 weeks ago.
Steve, why is the Scarlets special? What makes this fixture maybe stand out a little more than the rest, in terms of the local rivals?
Yeah, it is obviously, as a player, I felt like obviously you want to beat the Scarlets, but like as Ospreys you want to win every game. It is an exciting event, and it's always, the rivalry's always been there. But yeah, it's something the boys are pretty excited about, but I think no different to any other game. We've focused on the same as the European games. It doesn't get any extra attention because we fully prepare for every team we undertake. But I think for the supporters and probably some of the players, it does get that extra edge. But it's and you tend to get the biggest crowds of the season in around these games. So yeah, it will be exciting and it'll be tense, and I'm sure it'll have all the recipe for a real good derby day.
What have you made of them this season?
Yeah, I think they've been good. They've had a real solid start to the season. Through the World Cup period, they've done really well. Obviously winning a couple of games on the road as well. With a good home record, they've set themselves up well for the rest of the season.
Are you pleased with James King, am I right?
Yeah, I'm more than happy with James King. I think I've always been happy with him. I think he's just, wherever he plays, he gives you the same shift. just an unbelievable work ethic. Probably doesn't get the credit he deserves in large aspects. Good line-up forward, athletic, just his work rate, his tackling, how many tackle contests yet. He's just all round, and he just does all the unseen work, and he is a massive part of our team.
And Sam went really well, didn't he, at centre?
Yeah, he's just, nothing phases him, and the way we wanted to attack the game, we felt that putting him in the centre would enable us to get to the wider channels and put a bit more width on the ball, just having 2 10s in the field, because Josh does play sometimes like another 10, but yeah, Sam, nothing phases him. He's like, and even when that interception, he's not a kid that'll be hung up or overly concerned about it. He'll just get on with it. I thought some of the second half, he's taking the ball to the line, and some of his kicking out of hand is exceptional as well. So yeah, we've got a pretty special talent there.
Just for Josh, you say he's training better actually. Is he ready to be available for selection, Josh?
Yeah, he's probably going to turn it around. He's done a couple of tests today. He was very close to playing out in Bordeaux, but it was something we didn't feel. There's a lot of the season left. There would have been probably at half time you'd have made it to max. But yeah, we found in the last couple of weeks we pushed back the boys a little bit too early, and then they could put him back 3-4 weeks. So touch wood, we're hopeful Josh will come through that.
Don't you enjoy playing in these derbies, Steve? You know, when you play?
Playing? Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I loved playing the derbies. It was yeah, just enjoyed it, and I was lucky to be part of some real good wins down the Liberty in particular. Yeah, I can remember. I think it was the game was it 49-20 or something like that. It was what was it? 15. Sorry, mate. Yeah, we're giving too much. No, it was always great. Like, but you represent the Ospreys. It was always. I just loved every moment of wearing that shirt and being part of a team. But yeah, the Scarlets did have a special sort of ring to it, in particular playing in some of those Liberties where it was full out, a sell-out. So those were pretty special occasions.
When you're coaching though, is it different? Do you have to almost try and get the players back from that sort of hyped up state of mind and get them to focus on what they do every week?
Yeah, I think and our group are pretty good, like, and I think the game's moved on, whereas it's like I think it was bigger then for players. They're still big games now, but I think because the games come thick and fast, they're all high profile games more or less. It's something that you go week to week, they understand what they need to be, and like a lot of our guys have played international rugby, they know where their mind needs to be for these games, and you know if you're not on the money in these games, then it'll come back to bite you, and you won't get what you need. But most of the boys, yeah, it's just about performance. That's something we go back to all the time. It isn't just about like just focusing on winning the game, but you don't understand how you're going to do it, then you're not going to get what you want. So it's something we look to get better every training session. We are really focusing on detail and how we perform, and I got no doubt the boys will be fired up come Saturday.
You're looking forward to the potential duel between Paul James and Samson, who played particularly well apparently last week.
Yeah, we've done our homework on the Scarlets, but I think our scrumming is getting better and better too. I think out in Bordeaux they're a pretty good scrummaging outfit, and the squad and the size of them, and I thought we done really well out there. And I think us as a group, as a front five, I think there'll be a real battle going on there. But there's matchups right across the board, and it's something that I think for supporters it's going to be a real good occasion. And like I say, like hopefully it'll be dry, but with the weather it will be intense. It'll probably be pretty brutal at times, and I think in its own little way, it's whatever the weather, whatever the scoreboard, it'll have its own unique sort of end where people are going to enjoy the occasion.